Well, hello everybody out there. Welcome to this beautiful Sunday morning, afternoon. I don't know where you are, but it's a beautiful day. And today, you're here watching the Dungeon Master's Guide with me, your host, Satine Phoenix. What are we doing here today? We are going to show how easy it is to make an adventure. We're gonna make an adventure in about 40 minutes. Why 40 minutes? Because there's a whole bunch of other things to do before we get to there. Today, we have really cool guests. We have TJ Storm and we have Vivid Vivka. I'll do an introduction with them when they get here. So before we get into all the nitty gritty, we have to talk about a couple of things. We have Lauren Obo Crazy in chat as our lead mod, and Lauren is going to wrangle all the things I'm about to talk about. First, we have the raffle. You're gonna raffle a Dungeon Master's Guide book. So, couple things, you have to be in the chat to win. I believe she's already opened the raffle. It's !raffle. Enter that in the chat and you will be entered into the raffle winning blah, 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 blah. It will be drawn randomly near the end of the show, so keep your eyes peeled. You must be in the chat to win, and you have to reach out to Lauren with your information, who will then give us your information, and then we will send it to you next week. There are no location limitations. We will send it anywhere in the world. Number 2. Dungeon Master questions. We'll be asking our guests 3 questions, so go ahead and put your question in chat. We'll pick 3 of them, only 3. Put the word question in all caps right in front of there, and Lauren will gather them. And yeah, only 3 are gonna be picked, so ask wisely, or intelligently, or with dexterity. I don't know, use one of those things. Today's theme is level 4 to 6 epic adventure, a 3-hour adventure for intermediate players. So before we go into that, we are gonna actually go to one of our correspondents. We have Lysa Chen, the community manager for DM's Guild.
Hi everyone, my name is Lysa Chen and I'm the community manager for the Dungeon Masters Guild, your go-to marketplace for all sorts of D&D adventures and supplements, and the best place to publish your own D&D creations for fun or profit. I'm here today to share some real advice from real creators just like you. Today's advice comes from MT Black, an amazing writer out of Australia. I will share some of his creations right over here. And if you are a dungeon master who is looking to make that leap to creator and you have no idea where to start, MT has some tips for you. Tip number 1, brush up on your writing skills. Unless you have an English degree or a communications degree, it's entirely possible there are some nuts and bolts you still have to master. Honing your writer's craft will set your products apart with professionalism and marketability. Tip number 2, read other adventures. Check out the most popular adventures, well-rated adventures that catch your eye, and read them. Figure out how they're formatted, how the adventure is designed. Also check out older adventures. Dungeon Masters Guild has a section called D&D Classics, which is really great for that, and really get to know your subject and the topic you want to write about. Tip number 3, use the tools available to you. You don't have to stare at a blank piece of paper and figure out some sort of magic on your own. MT actually recommends the Dungeon Master's Guide for beginners. There is an adventure design chapter that has tables that first-timers can generate an adventure from. The Dungeon Masters Guild also has a bunch of resources like style guides and templates to get you started. Check out the resources for DMG creators section. Tip number 4, just do it. Keep it short, keep it simple, just get writing. MT warns not to get hung up on writing the perfect first adventure because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. It is more important to write, hit that publish button, which is the hardest part to getting started, and then learn from the feedback you get and repeat the process. That is all about what being a creator is. Well, that's all the advice that we have for you today. Until next time, you can check us out at dungeonmastersguild.com.
Thank you, Lysa. Oh my God. I have a question for you, Lysa. I don't know if you're out in chat right now, but where did you get that shirt? Because that DM's Guild shirt is super cool, and I do believe we all want one. Well, I am speaking for everybody. We all want one. So let's figure out how to get that. We have another set of correspondents that are having a charity stream today, a Save Our Shop stream. Cognitive Merchant from Manchester. So there's a whole bunch of us. Rudy and I are going to be on the stream today, and I just wanted to show you how awesome their shop is. So this is a custom Dungeon Master screen as a satchel. It starts off as a satchel, looks like this, super cool. Here they have the Maze Arcana logo they cut out, it's really neat. And you just open it up, you snap it off, you just take it out like this, and then bam, bam. You too can have one, it's super cool. But on the other side of this one, they were so cool, and they put a sexy Satine eye. And if you can see way in the middle of it is a Maze Arcana logo. The quality is incredible. Go check them out, Cognitive Merchant. We love them very much. Save their shop, help us save their shop. Before we get into making an adventure and bringing our guests on, I want to talk about choice. So we looked all over the internet, we looked in our community, we found a group to play with. I really want to stress that it's important that everybody communicate. And yes, you're all playing your game, but players have a choice to play in the game. And I want everyone to understand that it's okay for you to say, this was a really fun couple of sessions. I would like to choose to play in another game. I would like to stop playing this game and I would like to explore another character somewhere else. It is okay. It doesn't say anything about, Dungeon Masters don't take it personally. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Don't take it personally when your players doesn't want to be there. And you can actually tell. You know, you've got your players at the table and one of them is starting to kind of disengage. Maybe you're getting frustrated because their scheduling is getting a little flaky. They start changing their minds or their decisions of what they want to play. Have a talk with them and I'll give them the place and the space to say, you know what, I don't actually want to be here anymore. And like I said, do not take it personally because people have the choice to play in lots of different games. Players, you can say, no, thank you. And don't worry about hurting other people's feelings as long as you come from a place of honesty from your part. Like, you could say, thank you for allowing me to play at your table. I hope your game continues to grow and then I wish you all well. And that you would like to explore another game. So that's just a little bit of food for thought. It is important that we don't force ourselves to be in situations that are uncomfortable when, you know, there's tons of tables that you can play at and lots of different ways to play, lots of different stories to explore. And on that note, we're going to go to break. And after the break, we're going to bring our guests on. So first, a commercial break and a little song from our Not So Live band, Sirens.
I met a grung in Gauntlgrim who tried to win a bet, but then a drow who clearly won turned him into his pet. I met an orc from Glimmerwood, his future was so bright, but then he met an ogre mage and didn't win the fight. But then I met the one who told me that I could go far, that young and handsome bold beholder known as Xanathar. And he said, I've got my eye on you, I've got my eye on you, I've got my eye on you, I've got my eye on you. I met an owl in Snakewood and I really liked his shield, but then he met a cavalier who didn't like to yield. It seems that every path I cross is riddled with a curse, but every time I come out fine, so I guess it could be worse. 'Cause then I met the one that told me that I could go far, that young and handsome bold beholder known as Xanathar. And he said, I've got my eye on you, I've got my eye on you. I've got my eye on you. I've got my eye on you.
And we're back, ready to make an epic adventure. Are you ready to experience the creation of an epic adventure? We have our guests right here, whoop, in these seats. We have Vivid Vivka, whoop, whoop,
Hey, me.
and TJ Storm. And why don't we hear from you guys? I'm like, camera, you. I'm here with you now. It is us, and we're making an adventure together. So why don't you share with the audience how long you've been DMing, how many times you've DM'd, and who are you? What do you do?
Well, I am Vivid Vivka, and I am, goodness, I'm a cosplayer, a model. I'm on this awesome show called Sirens of the Realms. No big deal. I'm kind of a professional cartoon weirdling person. I just kind of stumble around on the internet and do stuff. As for DMing, it's easier to say how many times I've DM'd rather than how long, because I've actually started my own home game. After playing with you for so long and like loving being a player, I wanted to try my hand at actually telling the story. So I started a home game. I've done a couple sessions with that, and by a couple, I mean a couple like 12-hour-long sessions. Please, guys, let me sleep. And then actually last Tuesday, I did my first public DMing on Sirens.
Mama Bear was so proud.
Yeah, you cried.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
well, you made me cry.
I also put, my favorite was like in the chat, everyone was like, oh, it's Viv, she's a new DM. Oh, she's gonna be so great. And then like 5 minutes later, they're like, no, she's ruthless.
She's intense.
She's learned from Satine. That's a lot of rolling for survival. Oh yeah.
I was very impressed. Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing me, and I'm super excited. I love storytelling, and I'm stoked to continue my DM journey.
Yay! TJ, you've dungeon mastered a couple of times. Why don't you tell everyone your experience and
Failed her dex check.
that's often. Actually, that,
I like put it in my mouth.
Was pure awesome. My name is TJ Storm. I'm an actor, performance capture artist, and I'm the founder of the Mind's Eye Tribe Action Actors Academy. But I've been DMing, dungeon mastering for over 30 years, and I absolutely love it. It's an amazing adventure, a collaborative adventure, and it's wonderful. Congratulations, by the way, on your first DM adventure. That is spectacular. And
I'm loving it, and I have like the best group, and also like the group that I'm playing with, none of them have ever played Dungeons and Dragons before, so I'm actively teaching them how to play as like a player as I'm learning as
That's
a storyteller.
That is
and
the
it's
best.
great because they have no idea when I mess up.
That's the best.
No
No.
idea. They're just
That's the
like,
best.
okay, and I'm like,
Yes.
that's awesome. Cool. Well, we are going to jump in to this epic adventure creation. So, I don't know if you were listening, but we're going to make an epic adventure for levels 4 to 6. So we're going to make it feel like an epic adventure for intermediate players. The length will end up being 3 hours. So we are going to start. Yeah, I think we have about 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so. So, where do we begin?
where do we begin?
I think epic means it is larger than life. It leaves a mark in the world. So there's adventures, and then there's epic adventures. And Lord of the Rings, things like that were epic adventures. So if we're gonna go there, we need an epic beginning.
See, and it's funny because my first instinct was to have a small beginning, so it felt epic when you went out into the world.
I believe that is the case if you have a long time to play, but we only have 3 hours. So if we start small, then we're gonna have to build up. But if we can, actually we can use your idea. How about if we start small, we start with our level 4 characters. Now, we're saying levels 4 to 6, but in saying that this is the adventure, that's not where the adventure has to end. This is just the first part
Agreed.
of perhaps a bigger adventure. So
Right.
in this first
This
chunk,
is a chapter in the adventure.
yeah. So we have our characters, and they are there, but we have an epic character who's attached to an epic group. Let's say his name is something, I don't know, Sir Gallagher, some bigs.
So this is our Gandalf, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, our Gandalf character. And he's like, he walks in and he does something epic in the beginning of the adventure. And then right in front of your eyes, he and the epic heroes die. Right in front of you. We crush them. And you see the big bad. And he looks and he's like, this task is done. Let us move on. And he leaves his lieutenant behind. A mini boss, if you play video games. So the boss leaves and leaves the mini boss behind. And the characters are like,
this game so differently.
yes.
I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I would just nope out. I would just be like, nope, sorry, thank you.
But that's
thank
the
you.
thing. We need epic. And there's nobody left to help the people. We just crushed our heroes. And only these guys
So
are like,
neutral.
whoa.
There needs to be a reason though, because like I said, I'm super chaotic neutral, so I would just be like,
And you have to
good-
hook.
good to
you
see
have
you,
to
sir.
hook
I am
those
out.
guys in.
Okay, so how do we get them not to out?
yeah, there needs to be a reason not to just like bank on their moral compass. There needs to be a reason for them that they cannot nope out. So if someone comes in and is super amazing and then they're immediately killed by the big bad, why care? There, I mean, it could be like that one of your group was taken. So you actually have like someone to fight for. It could be that maybe,
I like that.
or
Or
you.
like a family member or somebody related to.
Well, I mean, the group could start out and they have like a character with them. You know, like not so much the plucky sidekick, but like definitely an equal that is like, you'll be a good handmaid, whatever, you're mine now. And like someone like grabs and takes them, then there's a reason for them to go after the big bad to get their friend back.
Okay, so how about this? So wherever this location is, it's the players and their friends. Maybe it's a tavern, or maybe it's whatever, a celebration or something, where maybe they're celebrating the big heroes. And so, they're actually with people. So the dungeon master,
their own homecoming.
exactly. So the game master can choose. So every player says, "Oh, this is who I brought with me," so that the game master's like, "Oh, I'm taking this person." Then they have more of a need.
Well, and also you can definitely play with that and be like, one person is taken, another person is maimed, another person is also killed, another person their
They're just going to
child.
destroy all their friends.
Well, exactly, but that gives everyone a personal reason.
I have an idea.
Yes.
So, your characters, sometimes, if you have a house rule, sometimes you need somebody to teach you to level up or to get to the next level. You need that sponsor, you need the high priest if you're a cleric, you need the knight lord if you're a fighter. Your sponsors, your mentors are there to introduce you at this party that you have. And it's this big event. First, we celebrate the great heroes, and then we're gonna look at the next generation, and they point towards you guys. And the people that are gonna introduce you, to knight you, to raise you to that next level are also there, your mentors. And they destroy the epic heroes, they take your mentors hostage, and they leave.
I mean, this is very much a student becomes the master.
Yes.
Because you were literally put on your adventure to level up, to ascend, to save
Your
hero.
Your heroes. So
Yeah.
you're going to save your Yoda.
That's good.
Cool. So
That's
this is like
good.
the journey. Oh my god, this is so
I mean, the
cool.
friends can still die.
All right,
for like
so-
extra push, but
Exactly. So opening scene. Oh no, this is all happening. So we have death of the epic people. You've got your mentors there. You have your friends and family there. The big bad comes in, swoops up, takes a bunch of people, kills, maims some people, leaves the mini boss, which is how you get the players to feel like they have a chance, right? So that's the opening. Good opening. Wow. Yeah, that's how you epic.
That's Act 1.
done.
Act 1. So we have 3 hours. What's the next step? Where do you guys go from there?
Well, we assume that they beat the mini boss.
Who is the mini boss?
The mini boss can be the end of the adventure. So he's the one that we're going to eventually have to go up against. The boss is epic level. Remember, he destroyed the big
Yeah.
guys. So we'll leave him for
Oh yeah,
maybe
he's down the
future.
line. I mean, this is like their treasure, is their
But
friends.
this is that lieutenant, and
Yeah.
he's still a beast. But we could potentially leave him for the end of the adventure. So
Well,
he's the one you go against.
You could do a double thing where at the beginning, the group fights him and he just like sweeps them. But then at the end of that 3 hours, when they find him again, it's like more equal that they can beat that, so they could feel epic that they in that time have grown enough and learned enough that they were able to defeat that boss, that they could see. I'm not all mean.
Okay.
I like that.
So
if we
who
do
is
that
he?
though, if we do that, there should be something that is his fatal flaw. Something that they learned in that first one. I mean, he should wipe the floor with them. The lieutenant should wipe the floor with them. But then
like put them down and
he
laugh at them as he
slams
leaves.
the staff down or the thing. And then if you can get him away from his staff or
Yeah.
whatever that thing is, then you have a shot.
Okay, so let's talk about this person, this creature. What are they? Ready? We're making it right now.
If you make it a fatal flaw, do you want to make it undead so it's a more impressive separation?
Undead. Okay, so it's an undead creature. What is it?
Or you can at least stack the odds in your favor. Like if it's daytime,
Like,
you have
I
a
mean,
better
I
chance.
think if it's an undead, probably a white.
Okay, how do you spell that?
WIGHT.
All right. All right. So why is this the big bad's mini boss?
Well,
what is
I
it
mean-
about him? What is his personality? Let's create this character.
I mean, whites are kind of like zombies that are caught in between like dead and undead, and they have like a. I mean, they can actually like speak and talk, so that way it's not just like.
Well, the cool thing about white, the word actually means man. It's an ancient word, and
How do you know this?
30 years, man. 30 years. And you know, the cool thing about D&D is the more you fail, the more you learn. It's awesome. So
I mean, just like you like
when I
laying
had to look
out
this
that
stuff
with
up-
like all of the, about
So-
about
So the archaic beginnings of white. Man.
Okay.
So
We have a white.
yes.
he's automatically flawed.
Yeah.
He was a man and he made a bad choice. What choice did he make to get to this point?
I mean, I don't think that that's so much important.
That is his
It
fatal
is,
flaw.
it
It'll
is.
drive
Oh, yeah.
It will drive everything.
This is how we build this.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the centerpiece
It was
for
greed.
the story.
Whatever he's holding,
Greed.
it was like the ring. Whatever he's
All
holding,
right.
he holds onto it so much, it has sucked the life from him. And if you can part him from that thing, you have a shot.
Okay, so why is he working for the big bad?
Greed got him his power, and greed also got him chained to this guy.
I would say that the big bad is the one who originally had whatever he had, like a staff, a ring, a piece of armor, whatever. And when he got that armor and took it and, you know, got that power from it, he didn't know that it was still connected. So it's like he got it and he ascended, but he's still middle management to the big bad.
Middle management.
Can we use? We always do magic. Okay, so everybody always uses magic, but I think they overlook the power of the gods. Can we use one of the old gods? Baal, maybe? One of the dead three?
Okay, I don't know about this guy.
He's the god of murder.
Okay, so, okay, God of Murder, Bahl?
Bhaal.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that. All right, tell me more. But wait, tell me more.
And that would mean maybe our bad guy is a Baal spawn. A child of Baal.
I mean, that's definitely epic.
That's
You're
huge.
fighting a godchild?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, even if, like, they, like, ascend, like, the epic final boss is Baal. Like,
Yeah.
taking down a god.
Well, Baal.
Okay, that's, like, way beyond.
At
But
one
anyway.
time, Baal. Quick story. Baal died during the time of troubles in the Forgotten Realms.
Oh, okay.
And then, but he saw his death coming. So he had lots of children and left them everywhere. This is one of them. Now, most of them died along the way, but a handful of them are still around in the world. And this guy has finally risen to power, and now he's the boss.
Nice.
And that could be, again, like, going too forward, but that could be the Baal child's main motivation is to perhaps hunt down the other Baal children to, like, Highlander it. And, like, there can be only one.
Yes, yes, beast. I
Grow
love it.
to be the next Baal.
She did a Highlander reference. That is boss.
Yes, I like that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so we're gonna go back because we have a lot to cover in a very short amount of time. The
Yeah.
staff. Let's make up a staff. Let's make this powerful thing. What is it?
Okay, can you tell me anything about Baal?
He is the god of murder. His symbol is a skull with,
Okay.
I think, blood droplets around it or fire around it.
Okay, so, like,
Does it have a skull on the top?
yeah, I mean, the first thing I picture is a skull, but I say that it's blood, but when I say that, I mean it's like the actual like carving is all of these like vines coming out of the skull, and they're like wrapping around, coming
I
down.
have a question.
Yes.
I have a thought
Yes.
for spook factor and atmosphere.
Lay the spoop on me.
It is not carved. It is a skull. It is the skull of the first ball spawn that the boss killed.
Oh, that's good.
Put it on there, and when you use it, it cries blood. That's why you know.
And the blood feeds the vines.
Yes! Yes!
And that's one of the things. Like if you actually hit in contact,
actually-
then it'll absorb the blood because it steals blood.
Oh, you know what else?
horrifying.
That could also be a super helpful thing for these new people because everywhere he's going, he has this thing. It's
The blood droplets.
It's literally breadcrumbs.
Yes!
You follow the blood.
awesome.
And this guy
Okay.
is so powerful that he doesn't even care that he's
doesn't care.
literally
Yep.
leading you to him. That will also keep the party from getting off track because it's literally like, yo, it's right there.
Yeah, but to make it for a good party, you have extra credit if you have a ranger because rangers
Of course,
they're
yeah.
the ones that are going to be like, what is this? And they'll be on it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool.
So let's come up with a name for this white.
Dwight.
Going once. Going twice.
Dwight the White.
The fearful and ominous Dwight. The White.
He was
Are we
not,
doing it? Are we
he was-
doing it?
He was
Okay.
not his dad's favorite child.
Maybe he has a nickname, but his name is Dwight.
Yeah, okay.
So what's a nickname? He's got and then that could be something they find where they're like,
Okay, you can
that's
put
kind of
I
how
love
they,
that.
how they
I
like
love that they
tear his
find-
power down
Yeah.
because
Okay.
they find his true
We
name.
make this guy. We give him. He's really really strong. That's why he dusts them in the beginning, and we
Yeah.
give him 3 weaknesses. 1, if you can learn his true name.
His
Your
true
name is Dwight. Boom. You
Wait,
learn his true name.
Dwight, and you chose to
Yeah.
become. You chose this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
So if you can learn his
weakness
true
number
name.
1, true name.
Dwight. Dwight Man.
Guy.
Dwight guy.
Dwight Guy. I love it. Dwight Guy. With 2 Y's.
Yeah, because it's from Cormier or something.
Yes.
True name is number 1. What's the second weakness?
Get his staff away
I
from
mean,
him.
his staff,
Staff?
yeah.
Third,
Daddy issues.
clarity.
Well, okay, so how. I just kind of threw that out, right? I wasn't planning on like a
Go on.
follow up.
It's improv. Everything,
yeah.
we're just going with
Well,
it.
I mean, like if he is a child of Ball, wait, no, that's
the big bad is a child of ball. So
wait, okay, I'm
this is
mixing
the
them
mini
up.
boss. So
All right,
we'll say
so he
his
doesn't have-
weakness
yeah.
is daddy issues.
yeah.
All right, so let's go back to Dwight.
Do whites have are they weak to the sun?
I do not know off the top of my head.
This guy is.
Okay.
This guy's weakness is sun.
SPF.
All right.
It
So
reminds him of what he's lost.
you only have like 15 minutes
Okay.
to actually come up with encounters.
So the most simple thing is we have the beginning and the first fight. That's the entire first act. Is they're gonna see this happen and fight this guy and probably lose.
Yeah. We also have an easy way for them to stay on track and find him through the blood pellets.
Let's put an old priest in there so that they can get some lore because they're not gonna know
Yeah.
without the DM saying, "Here's some history for you." But he might see this guy and be like, he carries the staff of Baal, and you should be careful. So there's a old priest. He's so old that nobody thinks about him. He stays in the temple, and this is the part in the movie where you follow the breadcrumbs and you start to find your way, and maybe he can give you, and this is a role playing bit, but if you spend enough time with him and you do a little bit of research, you can find out some of the weaknesses. But this is mostly role playing in the middle.
Yeah.
And this is also the
I
journey.
feel like there also needs to be some kind of like team building encounter in there where because they're going to go in this battle.
Montage? You want a middle montage?
Okay, so it's like
The
they
location, like
fight
going
this
from
guy.
one spot to another.
I mean, they
Okay.
fight this guy and they're gonna get like the floor swept with them. They need something in the middle. Maybe it's like a horde of actual zombies that the whites sent back, like go clean up my mess. Just something that they can get together and defeat and get kind of their confidence back and feel like they can do it, because otherwise they're gonna go up against this guy again and be like, oh, we just got our butts kicked.
And in that encounter, it's a role play, it's a combat, but it kind of teaches you little things that could help defeat him.
Mm-hmm. And some of them could have clues and hints on them that would help know like the weaknesses, that you could work together with the priest, so it's not just one guy that's like, by the way, these are his weaknesses, you know. So like a little bit like maybe they have some kind of like insignia or symbol on them that is like a sun melting away, or
So, since his ball is the Lord of Murder, if we have those zombies, if we have the zombie horde that he leaves behind in the city, when they get their butts kicked, they wake up in the old priest's place, and he says, I don't know all the details, but if you can find me one of their soldiers and bring him back alive, I can speak to the dead and make him tell us what we need.
That's a whole hour's worth of
that's
of
great, because not only would they have to fight these zombies that are sent back, but they have to keep one alive.
And bring him back to the priest.
All right.
I really hope that someone just brings back the skull.
Yes! Yes! That would be fun.
Okay, cool. You've got, all right. So we have the celebration. They wake up in the priest's place. The final fight, where is it? Is it in the same location? Is it nearby? Or are they going to go somewhere?
It could be nearby, unless you want to travel, but...
Is it top of the mountain? Is it...
If he's left his forces here, and he's the lieutenant, he might be up on the hill. He's going to... Oh, he's been left behind to murder everyone. So he's preparing a ritual.
Yeah, they could literally like catch him along the way to like the next town, thus getting that extra feel good that they have saved this next like impending town from him going on, and them getting like the same like death horde that they just got.
It's a sharp, jagged mountain that he lives on top of.
Oh, his summer home.
And they have to make it up this super scary, which is another cool encounter.
Yeah.
It could be like the journey of, so you're fighting the elements to get up there, having to work together to get up there, because that's part of one of the best
And
things.
he has eternal guardians because they're dead. They just stand guard all day and they never sleep.
Okay, so we've got the bring me a zombie.
Yeah, I just
encounter.
did an adventure where they had to go up like a dangerous mountain like that, and I kept having them roll like perception, and only like I had them do like the circle, and finally the last guy was like, so where are you looking? They're like, oh, I look over, look down. Finally the last guy was like, I look up, and I'm like, thank you, because like all this stuff is rolling down the mountain, and everyone looked around. Nobody looked up.
They never look up.
They never. Dad looked up.
Yay, Dad.
Dad.
Okay, so survive the mountain. You said guardians?
Yes, eternal guardians. He has zombie guards or whatever is appropriate for 4th level.
Yeah, and by this time they would already feel comfortable fighting that because they fought some before.
Yeah, so these could be just a little bit bigger and better.
Better armor.
Wilier. Okay, and then we have the final battle. Okay, so does this take place up in the mountain?
This takes place in his fortress, right?
Okay.
Wherever that might be. Or his
What
camp.
does it look like? Because we actually have some people, some fans who are building maps for this stuff. So we can, if we describe it to them.
He might be up here, but I don't imagine it's a permanent domicile because he's come here strictly to murder the people in this town, and then he's going to move on back to catch up with his big boss.
Yeah, like I said, it's his summer home.
Yeah.
Like it's a pass-through. It's like
So
you know what it could be? It could be an old graveyard where he is collecting more bones to build more army.
Oh, it's an old temple to Baal.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's
It's
great.
an
I
old-
like that. That's great.
All right.
Teamwork.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about this temple. What's inside of it, and what is so ominous that the players not only have to defeat him, but kind of have to watch, like, maybe is it a thing he's building? Is it? Yes.
Okay. So
You, I pick you. What?
now, from this point on, you are now in strategy mode. This is a different kind. Normally, you just go inside and you pick a fight. But you want the old priest to say, look, here's the 3 things, and if you can achieve all 3, you have a big chance. If you can only achieve 1,
Yeah.
so you have to achieve all 3 of those things. Number 1, you have to find his true name. I don't know how you do that, by the way, unless one of you can change shape and go have a conversation with him and say something, but you have to come up with clever ways.
If somebody could like either shroud themselves or hide away or over here, they could hear while they're going like up the thing, one of the guards being like, here the guy's name is actually Dwight. Like because nobody likes their boss. Like everyone be, oh god, I actually heard. And so you could actually perhaps overhear it.
Okay.
But you would have to be super sneaky and actually be trying to listen. You can't just like walk up and hear it.
Maybe it's within here. Maybe it's at the priest's library. Maybe
That's true.
maybe you can put it
That's
in a
true,
couple
too.
different places so that when the players
You have a couple of different chances to find that out. But in the end, the players are going to have to find ways to achieve all 3 things. It doesn't matter if it's daytime inside of a cave. So you're going to have to draw him out, or you're going to have to have your thief sneak in and grab the staff and get out before he notices it's gone. Because once it's in his hand, it's game over.
You could also pull some kind of like legend type thing where you
the
use
reflection.
mirrors for like.
That's cool. Yes, that is really cool, actually.
Yeah. So in that
Love that.
case, as a dungeon master, you would have to plant these items or these ideas in different, like you'd really have to make the environment. And I don't want us to do that. I would really like the individual dungeon masters playing this to come up with ideas. So maybe, Rick, when you're putting this into the module, it's, encourage the dungeon masters to be creative.
The one good thing we do have is the old priest working for us. He doesn't have to be nice. He can be like, you're just going to go straight and attack him again? You're an idiot. And
Yeah.
he can say, you'd better have a better plan than that.
Yeah.
Mirrors or, he goes, are you going to sneak in or are you just going to try to grab it out of his hand? And you make your players go, oh, I didn't think about that. Because they never do until they're there.
And
need
also that
encouragement.
would be a reality check of their level and be like, well, how long have you guys been doing this for?
Yes.
You definitely have like a long way to go. You need to think about this stuff if you want to be true heroes. What would your masters say?
Oh, good.
And then boom, right in the ego.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great.
Making them work for it.
And you can also give them a little bit of healing stuff because they're going to take
you're
some
gonna need
bruises.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, when they get to his place, they might start to see special guards. And the special guards might be skeletons, because I like what you said about the bones. And their skeletons just stand there and they're standing guard, except the only difference is, the thing that tells you that they're different is that the skeletons cry blood. There's just blood dripping out of their
They could also
eyes.
have
And what they see,
shields
what
that
they
are-
see, he sees.
That's
Why
rough.
they're special.
No, that works with what I was going to say. So what they see, he sees, and I was going to say, and all of their shields are reflective.
Ah! Boom!
So that way they
That's
have a shield
awesome.
and they can
You know
hide it,
why
so
they're
they only
reflective?
see themselves
Because
back.
they've been standing outside so long, the elements have polished them,
have like weathered it away.
weathered away.
Oh man, that's
We're
good.
really good at this.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Oh. Can we do like the
Wow.
Predator arm? 2019.
Awesome.
Great so far. All right.
Okay, this is one epic adventure. So they get this guy. Let's talk a little bit about how the big bad is going to approach. I think we only have 5 minutes to do this.
Ooh,
So
okay.
let's talk about the big bad and how he might see the players and how he might treat the players, because that's going to be kind of like the dungeon master has to role play this.
Yeah.
And I would think in this situation it's good for us to guide
Are we
the
talking
dungeon
about
masters.
the big bad?
No, the
No.
Or
Dwight,
the mini boss?
the mini boss.
Yeah. Dwight.
They're worms.
Hmm?
They're worms. He's already
Yeah.
destroyed them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he will wipe them
So he
out.
underestimates them.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, granted, what his soldiers see, he saw, and whereas they could hide a lot with the reflective shields, he's still going to see them like come up, so he knows that they're coming. But still, he's already wiped the floor with them. He knows they're coming. He welcomes it. He's like, "Come on, come at me, bro."
Oh, so he's more like your fly.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to pay attention to you until they start proving that they're more clever than he thinks they are. Cool.
I like that.
This
And that
is
also
awesome.
shows that it's more than just level and brute strength. You can ascend beyond your level if you plan and you actually use tactics.
That's right. That's right.
And our white should be a little bit special. We should give him some special gear. Maybe he was a priest, maybe he was a wizard, but he should have some extra special stuff, more than just the basic white. Or assign all of that to the staff. That way, if he doesn't have the staff, he loses all of his special goodies.
Cool. Okay, where does this take place?
Let's put
Where
it
in the
near
Forgotten Realms is this?
Baldur's Gate somewhere, because that's a cool area.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the ball spawn were. So that's
Oh, there you go. All right.
that's where they were oftentimes.
I'm not so good with the geography, so I'll
We'll
go
put it
with
in a
his
small
idea.
town somewhere near Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Yeah.
BG. Yay, love Baldur's Gate. Okay, the old priest, what is his name?
Samsonite. No, I stop letting
Samson
me,
is the first name. That's a
stop
great name.
letting me name things.
Okay.
Like I'm just here like whammy shit. Samsonite was way off.
Samson.
Samson of Lathander.
Oh, beautiful.
That's why he knows the lore of the light, because he's the Morning Lord.
Cool.
Okay.
So him, what is Dwight Guy's
Oh yeah, what's his,
power
like,
name?
Power name. It has to be something over the top because this guy is compensating for like a life of Dwight. A Dwight life. I am rubbish at naming things, obviously. I'm very much looking to you here because everything I do is trash.
What is another word for death? No, greed. Gold. What's gold? Another word for gold.
Chinese. Oh, I'm bad.
I just know girly sparkly.
Glorian. Glorious. Glorian. His name
Glorian.
is Glorian, and we need a dark word afterwards.
Yeah.
Glorian. Death.
Maybe something with macabre
Dark.
or naming people is like the hardest thing.
It's usually the easiest part.
Not really.
Okay, something has to do with death. You said macabre.
Or downfall.
Glorian, like, not might slayer, but something that like takes things away. So
What is the words for
life with
drain?
life
Take?
drainer.
I'm
Life drainer.
I'm trying to think of stuff that has to do with like the skull and the tears and
Yeah,
everything. So it's
something that
like
takes away.
like life crier or
Vampirism.
I like life crier. Can we go with life crier?
Glorian Life Crier. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
Glorian life crier. And if you look at the mountain, you look at the mountain
What a
from
great
far away, see it just the trees all say.
you worked really hard to put all the big stones there to like.
Last question.
All right.
This is freaking amazing, though. By the way, this is like super impressive. What is the name of this module?
Tears of life.
What do you call it?
Tears of life. Life crier. Like it's like the skull and everything, or trek of tears.
Trail of Tears.
Trail of Tears.
Well, not trail, trek. You don't want the trail of
I
tears.
know, and I like that. though.
Yeah.
I like that.
Are we good? Yeah. Trek of Tears.
What's another word for trek?
Yeah, we need another word because
Uh,
that's like two T's and
yeah.
a K. It's a little awkward.
Okay.
Mission.
Not like adventure or mission.
Quest. Quest for Tears. Quest of
Or
Tears.
journey. The white way. Sorry.
We have 1 minute to come up with this. A ranger does tracking.
Okay.
Gosh,
Tier-
wow. We're really good at pretty much everything.
Everything was great until we had to name stuff.
We have 30 seconds.
Toxic tears.
Path of Tears. Blood
Tower
Cry.
of tears. Temple of tears.
Temple of Tears.
Temple of Tears.
All right, done. Temple of Tears. Okay.
Yes. That was
Congratulations.
Like that was.
This is one epic adventure, and the best part is that it's an epic adventure for almost pretty low characters. But this is what I love about Dungeons and Dragons is the improv. It is the fact that you came up with a really intense adventure within 40 minutes. I really don't know how much time it took, but it was very fast, and I'm so proud of you guys, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the creation of this.
This was like the coolest pop quiz.
I know, right?
It was so
Every
much fun.
Sunday here. Actually, we are going to go on hiatus for a few weeks, and Dungeon Master's Guide will be back probably late February or early March while we upgrade. But before we leave for today, we only have like 10-15 minutes left. We have some questions for you from our fans. Fan questions. Thank you, Lauren Obo Crazy. First question from Cosplay Right asks,
Cosplay what?
how do you account for magic items in the party's possession when building an encounter within any adventure? Would you like me to repeat the question?
I would like you to repeat that question.
How do you account for magic items in the party's possession when building an encounter within any adventure?
I don't. I used to, but for me now, it's just a part of, I like a semi-realistic setting. So sometimes you're over-prepared for something and you walk in and it's a breeze. Sometimes you're vastly underprepared and you're like, oh my God, I left my house without pants. So whatever it is, you let them deal with it. Some DMs like to, I used to do that when I wanted to defeat my players. I'm like, how am I going to beat them or at least challenge them? I don't anymore. I let them figure out how to win.
Aww.
And I think that's more, for me, and watching them, I think it's more rewarding that they figure out, we can't just beat this thing over the head every single time. We are going to have to sneak around it and come up with a way to beat it rather than just attack from the front. Sometimes it is. You can attack from the front when you're overpowered, but other times you're going to have to be clever.
I mean, that's like the entire adventure that we just wrote was
Absolutely.
it's all about getting the magic thing away from the guy using like your tactics. So
Yeah. Question number 2 from IO Dinosaur. The question is, which part of adventure design tends to come first for you? Specific monsters, a plot point, or an interesting location? In this one, we started at the beginning. But how do you guys normally do that?
I usually start by plot points, and I fill in monsters all along the way that I feel would fit like the area, the situation, or where that story is going. I never build an adventure starting out with monsters because also, I mean, it's just the way that I DM and the way that I like to do things is that I like to have more of the focus be on the story rather than just encounter to encounter to encounter.
It's very much like writing, and DMing is very much like writing. For me, at least, I see the centerpiece. I see the thing that I want to achieve. In the end, I want them to fight a dragon. And then I go backwards and start to fill out everything that I need to get to that point. But I always know where my journey is going to end, and then I'll figure out which way I want to go there. And that's kind of what we did today. We know that someday we want to meet the boss. So we reverse engineer everything, and we take our time doing that. And research helps a ton. You can take your time and say, what can challenge these guys? Or what gods do I have access to? Or what place do I want to be in? And that fills out everything all by itself.
Cool. We have one last question and only a minute to do it, to answer it, and I can't even, yeah. Stuart R. Wyatt asks, when creating an encounter that has non-combat elements, puzzles, chases, etc., what are good indicators of balance in your opinion?
Having even thought to create a non-combat encounter has already brought you to the point of balance. A lot of people will make their OP fighter, but nobody thinks to bring the guy who can open locks. And if you don't, you're already in trouble. Or if you have the wizard who can figure out the puzzle, he's smart enough, and he has the backstory and the knowledge and the arcana skills and history checks, you've already started balance. You've already started thinking about balance. Now, you would like, I mean, I don't know, it also depends on the kind of players you have. If you have a ton of murder hobos in your party, then and only one person who really enjoys puzzles, give them their puzzle, maybe one or two, and then supply enough action for everybody else.
I mean, you can also mix together action with a puzzle. Like maybe to get elements of the puzzle, you have to kill someone to like get it from them, or it's their blood, or it's something like that. So that way you can actually like help bring in and be like, yes, you can go ahead and you can kill these people, but for a reason, puzzles.
And
using your brains. And it's like, it would just be really funny to watch this like fumbling fighter be like pick up like the skeleton arm and be like, I think this is a key.
And for the advanced DMs, when you can mix those two at the same time, that is gold. If the fighters have to hold off the horde while somebody's trying to open this because you have 60 seconds. Hurry up! There's too many of them! 30 seconds! If you can balance those two, that is awesome.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for answering these questions. Thank you guys for asking the questions. We chose 3, but there are so many more in chat. Why don't you guys who asked those questions take them to Twitter and with the hashtag AskDMG, and we will answer them on the Twitter after the show. And I have one more question for you guys. So, we all are very specific GMs. We have our own set of house rules that make our game our own. So what are your house? Well, give me like one house rule, one thing that you tell your players to make your game you, or maybe it's something you do in your game that makes your game you.
You want to go first?
Okay. For me, it's not everybody is a role player at first, especially. They're just, I want to show up and I want to kill orcs and kick in doors and stuff like that, and that's fun. And that's okay. It's totally fine. I like to see the character come out. So number one, I reward role playing with experience. I'll say, put a check on your paper. That was really cool. And when they do something, when they say, I'm going to intimidate that guy, I'll say, what are you going to say? Now, they don't have to be the best speaker. It's a charisma check. And of course, your character has an 18 and you are not the 18 character that you're portraying, but you say, look, I know where your uncle lives. And if you don't tell me what I want to know, and blah, 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 blah.
Look at these chills!
And now, if they do a little bit of that, even in description, I'll say, do that at advantage. Now I reward them for even the smallest attempt to roleplay, because it really brings a lot of life to the game to be able to see just a little bit of your character, because now I know who you are. I'm like, oh, okay, I see how you are. That's cool. And also, the world now knows how you are. And that could come, those create little adventures for you. Your players are going to write your adventures half the time.
Oh yeah.
And when they do that kind of stuff, that creates nice little threads that you can come back and pull on later. So that's what I do.
So piggybacking off of what you said, something that I actually like to do before the games, especially is like I said, with my home game, I have people who have never played D&D before. So to get them used, they've never role played. So to get them used to it, I took every person and individually did a mini thing with them. It was like a half an hour, no rolls, no anything, just like, you wake up here, you're here, there are eyes following you, what do you do? And I just talk them through it, so that way they're not worried about like, well, okay, I roll, what is this number? It's just like, you rolled that, that's a pretty good, go. And it's like, one guy that I play with who had never role played was really nervous about doing any like kind of, he was very focused on like the numbers and everything. He ends up running from this creature, and I'm like, okay, in front of you, there is a cabin, there's a door, it's got a big glass window, and it's like, I jumped through the window, and I'm like, why didn't you check the door? All right, and I had him roll, and he got, like, long story short, he ended up just like rolling so that he just slammed into the window and didn't break it at all. Awesome. And like fell, and he's like, okay, I tried the door. I'm like, the door was unlocked the whole time. So he goes in, and he like on the spot, like there's an old woman in there, and she's like, oh, what was that? Something just hit my window. And he's there with his nose broken and blood everywhere, and he's like, the monster punched me, like totally lied about it to save face. But now he felt so much more comfortable that, you know, he had this thing where he was able to feel that fluid role play that comes out. Yeah. So yeah, I like to have these little moments with people individually to kind of build up their role playing confidence with just me, and then put them with everyone else so they can like slowly dip their toe in and find themselves.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing your tips. So you guys, I have been asking you guys for the last 4 episodes to send in your GM house rules, Dungeon Master house rules to dndfanart@wizards.com. And guess what? We have some here for you today. We have, I believe, 4 of them, and we're going to run them right now. Thank you guys. Here we go.
Hey there, my name is Carlos Berlitz, and today I will talk a little bit about the house rules that I use in my games. So the first one is on character creation. If any of my players decides to go with a race background combination that both receives non-optional proficiency in the same skill, like for instance Goliath, so they both receive proficiency on athletics, then that character will have the proficiency and expertise on that skill. Following that, I also use a different rule for rolling initiative. If anyone rolls a natural 20 on initiative, you then roll your dice again, some with the 20 and some with your initiative. It also happens for the other side, so if you roll a 1, you roll again and then have 1 minus the number that you rolled in the dice plus your initiative.
Hey, I'm John Baltina, also only play Wizards on Twitter and Instagram. I wanted to submit my little house rule that we've been using for a while for the Dungeon Master's Guide. We were kind of dissatisfied with inspiration. We found just getting an advantage on something was just way too easy already, so a lot of times inspiration would go wasted. So in addition, I would forget to award it as a Dungeon Master, so there was that. So what we do now is inspiration gets awarded after a session. I let the players nominate up to 3 of the players for next session to have inspiration. And then in addition, our inspiration, when you have it, you get a little castle, little pewter castle with a crystal, and you can use it to add a d6 to any ability check, saving throw, or attack roll, much like the Bardic Inspiration. So we wanted to mimic and use that ability that we all kind of know and love. So, all right, I hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Aran. I usually GM D&D Adventurers League, so I follow strict rules, but this is my GM spiel. My game is theatrical and cinematic. Expect style shots and dramatic reveals. Unless otherwise stated, I'll consider anything you say or do as something your character says or does. I will ignore any and all call for mechanics. Tell me what you want, I'll ask for the roll when I need it. Please, please, please roll attack and damage at the same time. If you're helping someone, you need to explain how, or you can't. This includes, but isn't limited to, Bardic Inspiration. The rule of cool rules. Be creative and make the game more fun, and I will do my best to reward you. Also, try to notice cool things from other people and point them out. I like to let the players drive the story, and I will push forward only if I see you struggling or unsure. All of these rules are to facilitate the main goal of this game, which is to have fun, and make it home before your family members get homicidal. After the game is over, if you have any questions about my decisions, I'll be happy to explain anything that isn't a spoiler.
Hi, my name's Jeff. I identify as a sleepy dungeon master. Problem I was having at the table was players just not being very descriptive. Often there'd be a scenario and players would just go, stealth check, 9! And I find that really disruptive to the narrative. I'm describing a scene going through. So I implemented the rule that if you declare a skill check and roll, you will have disadvantage on that roll. If you just describe what you're doing, if you walk up and say, I want to try to sneak by that guard, it'll be straight roll. I'll might be roll a stealth check. If you say, I'm going to get a ball bearing from my pack, I'm going to throw it over the wall over there and hopefully create a distraction and then sneak past that guard, I'm going to give you advantage on that. So it just really helped get players more descriptive and just kept the narrative flow of the game. So that's my tip.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for recording those and sending them to us. So for everyone out there, you too, we want to hear what your house rule is. Has to be 1 minute maximum, and we'll be showing them on the end of every single Dungeon Master's Guide when we come back from our little break. So you can submit that to dndfanart@wizards.com. And that is the end of our show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please, we have your Twitter handle, but if you want to share what you're up to with the audience, this is our wrap up. So where can they find you?
So again, I'm Vivid Vivka. That's Vivid Vivka. My name is not Vivica, it's Vivka. But yeah, check me out on Twitter. I'm there all the time. I post stuff, I hang out, and make sure to catch me every Tuesday. Well, for the rest of January. Then we go on break. But Tuesdays right here on Twitch. We're on the D&D. Yeah, we're in the D&Ds. But yes, I'm on Sirens of the Realms. I play the Disaster Sprite Ghost, and I break the game, and she's my DM, and I'm sorry.
Oh, I love you. I just take that and
I am TJ Storm. You can find me on Twitter at TJStorm01 or on Instagram at StormsEye or on the webs at mindseyetribe.com. I'm also on Heroes of the Veil for D&D Beyond, and come join us and have some fun as we tromp over the countryside trying to stay alive.
it's on Wednesdays, right?
It is on Wednesdays, yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to our raffle winner. Our raffle is Arik there. Oh, no. Arik the Red. 69. Thank you so much. Congratulations for winning a Dungeon Master's Guide. I have all your information right here, and we'll be sending your Dungeon Master's Guide out next week. We want to thank our sponsors, Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you so much for letting me do this. It's silly, and I love it, and I hope that everyone learns from this. Thank you, Idle Champions. You can go and play Idle Champions now on PlayStation and Xbox. That's right, you get to see me on PlayStation and Xbox. It's Vanya with my little RPG. You can also play it on Steam, iPad, and Android. Level Up Dice. Thank you so much for being a great sponsor. Sirenscape. I do believe Ben has Sirenscape jacked right into the system. We can't hear it here. I hope you're having a wonderful time with it. Wormwood. Thank you, Wormwood, for being our longest sponsor. We at Maze Arcana have a contest going. We have a fan art contest. So go ahead and enter your fan art. Could be an art piece, could be a music piece, but this is for Inkwell Society. And if you win, in order to win, you have to send one of those things to dndfanart@wizards.com. And then we're going to take the 4 best ones that we choose, and we're going to put them on Twitter, and you're going to choose the winner. And the winner wins this beautiful Wormwood dice vault. And in Cthulhu script, or whatever script this is, I'm going to spoiler it. It says Inkwell Society. So this is a one of a kind. There aren't any others like this. I believe it's inlaid script. You can win that. So check out our Twitter at Maze Arcana to get more information on that. All your fan art though, all of it, send it to dndfanart@wizards.com. I now have access. I'm going to read all of the emails.
She's hacked the emails.
It's true. Cognitive Merchant, they got in a really crazy accident and they lost a lot of their equipment. So like I said, today is a big charity event where there's a bunch of games going, and we'll be playing in that later today. So go check out Cognitive Merchant. Thank you, Maze Arcana production team. As always, you make us look so good, and we adore you. Thank you, Laura Noble Crazy, for moderating, and thank you all for watching. I'm Satine Phoenix, your host here on Dungeon Master's Guide. You can find me at Satine Phoenix on all of the things, and I will see you on Tuesday for Sirens of the Realms on Maze Arcana, and Wednesday on Inkwell Society, Dungeon Master by Rudy Rutenberg. And up next, we have Girls Guts Glory here on twitch.tv/DND at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a wonderful day.